Kia ora, everybody. It is Sunday, the 6th of November, and it is 8 a.m. New Zealand time, and this is the NZ Travel Show.
And this is Robin, and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide because it literally has thousands and thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan the perfect trip to New Zealand, and it's 100% free. So not take a browse. There's a lot of stuff on there. But if you're not really into reading, well, this is what the NZ Travel Show is all about. You guys can come into the live chat, ask your New Zealand travel questions directly to the experts, and we go through every single one of the comments, all the questions, and just have fun. So come and join us. But if you miss the live show, you can always put your questions in the comment section of any of our YouTube videos.
Indeed, I always go over all the comments, making sure that I give you some info. Sharing the knowledge right here. All right, so this morning we start with Chris Beauty from Australia saying, Kia ora, Robin and Laura. Finally in New Zealand after many hassles yesterday. 50-minute delay flying, 75 minutes at Auckland to claim his bag. Off to see the Auckland Museum. That's a cool museum. I like it. And he says, have a great show. Do you like the Auckland Museum?
Yeah, I do. It's really cool. The only downside is that you have to pay for it. There's a lot of museums in New Zealand that you don't have to pay and that are equally as good. So things like the Otago Museum in Dunedin, for instance, is a really good free museum which has about the same sort of diversity. But the Auckland Museum, you have to pay, I think it's around $20.
It's Auckland. It's an Auckland fee.
I know, but it's like, come on, just like it's a museum. Share the knowledge for free like we do.
Yeah. All right, Anthony Comstock says, Morena from Wellington.
Ooh, Wellington.
That's right.
Nice, the capital.
Yeah, he's not in Rodeo, California no more.
I know.
I love it. What are you up to, Anthony, today in Wellington, in the capital of New Zealand?
What is on the agenda? Te Tapa Museum, also free.
Yeah,
also better than the Auckland Museum.
Oh, yes. Sure.
In my personal, humble opinion.
I agree. No, I sounded sarcastic, but I genuinely do agree. What is Adil saying?
Adil says, Kia ora, Robin, Laura, and all of the viewers. Kia ora, Adil.
And we also have the great Tamo, says Morena from Rotorua. Tamo's in New Zealand too.
Another one in New Zealand. That is awesome.
And actually, in honor of Tamo being in New Zealand, we concocted a very special Lord of the Rings question of the day. So let's go over it. Question of the day, Lord of the Rings super special. Question of the day, Lord of the Rings super special for Tamo because he's in New Zealand. Yay! All right, Laura, what is the question of the day today?
The question is, what is the best way to cook potatoes? I mean, any Lord of the Rings fan would probably get this joke. Otherwise, we just look like nutters, which we kind of are. So, is it boil them, mash them, or stick them in a stew?
Is there not a more rhythmic way to present those three options, Laura?
Don't make me.
You will. By the end of this live show, she will. All right.
I will chant it because it's not really singing, but I will chant it at the end of the live show. So if anybody wants to see that, I don't know why, stick around.
Yeah. All right. So make sure you vote. I want to know if boil them, mash them, or stick it in the stew has any importance or meaning to you guys. All right, Adil says I vote 1, 2, and 3 on today's poll question. That's the correct order. That is actually the correct order. Yes, indeed. What is Nathan saying?
Nathan says, Kia ora, everyone. Quick question. Is it too early to start listening to Christmas music?
Well, according to retail shops in New Zealand, as soon as it's over with Halloween, it is Christmas time. I mean, we already start receiving like emails of like, do you Christmas shopping and all that? And I'm like, do you realize we are like 2 months away, right? But yeah, we start getting harassed, our consumerism, society, focus, blah, blah, blah. Oh, man. And on top of it, someone used to come up with new Christmas song as well. Like, I'm so sick of hearing the same thing.
Yeah, but
I've worked retail before. They go in a loop. You get your 1 hour loop, and then you're just slowly getting nutter as a retail worker.
I feel like it hasn't been a while since there's been new Christmas songs out, or maybe I'm just that out of touch with popular music now that I wouldn't even know. But
who's this guy that was doing like Class A?
Michael Bublé.
That guy is he still around? Is he not doing something different at some point?
I feel like he has now become part of the Christmas song problem. He is now the guy that is on repeat.
You're part of the problem, Michael.
Yeah, I know. And also,
Michael, be to the principal's office, please.
Yeah, and I feel like when he brought that sort of new music out, it just sounded exactly the sort of same vibe as other Christmas music. I guess Christmas music needs a certain sort of sound to it, but we have
annoying part of
we
the
have
sound.
a jazz Christmas playlist that we play
On the one day, on the Christmas day, and that's it.
not already. We haven't started it already, but yeah.
All right, so Christine says, "Aloha, guys! I'm flying to New Zealand today. That's exciting.
There's so many people coming to New Zealand now.
That is really exciting. We're looking at Patreon yesterday, and we realized 5 of our international patrons were literally in New Zealand right now. They already flew off, which is amazing. Like, it's really cool to finally get people back into New Zealand. So that's really cool. So, Christine, we wish you a safe flight. How long are you going to be spending in New Zealand already? What's the plans? I need a bit of a recap, Christine.
Yeah.
All right. Lawrence says, "Kia ora, Laura, Robin, and everyone here. Nice one." And she pitches in about the Christmas music and say, "It's always too early, Laura."
I agree. I do agree. Anthony is telling us what he's up to in Wellington, saying, thought about going to the airport to see the Lord of the Rings. Oh, yeah, because they do have some Lord of the Rings sort of Weta sculptures at the airport.
Maybe you can go to the Weta Caves themselves. It would be actually less of a trip than going all the way to the airport, and you'll see more. So that may be really cool to go there.
Yeah, and he says, or explore more New Zealand, maybe take the cable car.
I guess your buddy is gonna be deciding that for you.
Yeah, I mean, both options are fun. Either going to, I would say, the Weta Cave over the airport. There's a bit more to see and do at the Weta Cave. You could even jump on the Weta Workshop tour, perhaps. So there's that option, or the cable car's always fun as well, and there's good views of Wellington from the top of the cable cars, and there's the Cable Car Museum at the top of the cable car.
Speaking of Epic Museum,
another free museum in New Zealand. So
just go to the Te Papa Museum. It's a little better. Clay is here, says, "Morning all. It's been a minute, eh? Yeah, it has been a minute, mate. What happened to you? What's the haps over there?
Still building that fence, or?"
Yeah, is the fence down? And is the puppy like super old now? Is it a horse now?
I mean, puppies
I don't know how big they grow, but is it a horse?
Puppies don't last as puppies for very long. They usually grow pretty quick.
And he says, "I've been busy lately. New looks look good. Thank you very much. That's that. Yeah, we did a lot of DIY, and that was
fun. Yeah." we enjoy it.
All right, cool. Lawrence says, "I'm on D-5 before leaving." She says, "I think I'm realizing it's happening and slowly start to panic." Why are you panicking? Just tell us. We'll talk through it together. Just talk to us. What is there to panic about and to and from? Tell us.
Yeah, you're going to be so stoked once you've come over here, once you've done it, realize you could, do it on your own and stuff. You're going to feel so stoked once you've done it.
There's no reason to panic. Zero. Bubble. Nothing. Nada. All right. Lawrence is asking to Clay if there's more snow in Dunedin. Where are we? Rafa Cat says, "Morning, guys, from
Leeds."
It's bonfire night. A lot of fireworks going off right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of fireworks going off around us, because also in New Zealand they celebrate Guy Fawkes. Don't really know why, but I mean, obviously because of a Commonwealth country, blah blah blah. But they sell it. I think people just like the idea of getting fireworks, and there was a lot going off around our house last night. You look in one window, then you can go see a fireworks display from another window. The only downside to having bonfire night / Guy Fawkes night on in New Zealand is that obviously it's coming into summer. The days are longer. It doesn't really start getting dark until maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock is when it's kind of more like, okay, now we can start thinking about doing the firework, start getting the fireworks together. But compared to in the UK, it's like, fireworks are done and dusted at 6, and you're like, well, I can go home now. But here, you have to wait all night before it's dark. Anyway, I just had that thought last night.
Okay, anyway. I just realized that. So Anthony says, "By the way, I feel neglected. You didn't mention me in that list of people being in New Zealand." You know what? That's so funny. I just checked. That's right. I didn't mention you on the list, but that's because of you guys. We talked about it and I made the list. So I think when I started typing the list, it was so obvious that you were in New Zealand. We talked about you. I made that list of people in New Zealand and I completely forgot to tag you on there. I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, I will edit you on there, this afternoon. Sorry about that.
What's that on? So
On the Patreon Facebook group, I made a
Yeah.
list of I tagged everybody that was in New Zealand, just asking what they were on,
where they were.
yeah,
and
where they
stuff?
were, what they were doing, and everything. So yeah. Clay, is there more snow in Dunedin? Is asking Lawrence.
Surely not. Surely
no,
not.
surely it's summer now. It's
Yeah.
summer. Come on.
The weather changes like that. Seriously,
Yeah.
it's like it has its snowy storm. Now it's like getting warmer.
Okay, what is Christine saying?
Christine says, we'll be there for 2.5 weeks. So excited. I hope I packed everything I need. Yeah. I mean, that's always the thing, isn't it? Where you're like,
If you're unsure, pack more sunscreen.
yes.
There
You
you
can never
go.
have too much sunscreen. But at least, if you do forget anything, you're bound to be able to pick it up in New
Yeah.
Zealand. We're not that deprived over here.
What's the great Violet Zulu having to say?
The great Violet Zulu, V Zulu now. It's
Yeah.
not Vi, it's V. Saying, hi guys, I'm here to share good news with you today. My residency visa has been approved. I will be joining you guys late this year.
Congratulations,
Nice.
that's awesome. That's amazing. I hope you have a blast in New Zealand for sure. And I hope you get to explore the country a lot as well.
Yes.
Anthony says he's already seen the Weta Cave too. Okay, that's cool.
there
Now,
you
have you
go.
been to the Te Papa Museum as well? Because that's one of our favorite things to do in New Zealand for sure. Sorry, in Wellington for sure.
Yeah. And also Zealandia. I know I talked about that last week, but that is really good. It is wheelchair friendly as well, because I know your buddy is your buddy in a wheelchair?
No, it's not in a
He's not in a wheelchair.
But he likes things to be very easily
Yeah,
accessible.
it's very accessible. It's very awesome, beautiful. You seriously do get to see native New Zealand birds really close up there.
Yeah.
So and they are all they're not in cages or anything. It is like an open sanctuary, but there's feeding stations where they come and feed. So you can just check them out, and it's really fun. Honestly, you will be a bird nerd once you leave New Zealand, because they're pretty crazy animals over here.
Laura works for Zealandia. It looks like.
It seems that way, doesn't it? I seriously don't, and they don't sponsor us in any way. It's just something that I feel like is a little underrated, but one of the.
Anthony say he already went to Zealandia.
Oh, good.
What did you think of
Good
Zealandia?
on you, Anthony.
What did you think of Zealandia?
Yeah.
Tell us. Okay, Clay says.
Clay says, puppy's still a puppy, but huge. Still got a lot to go too. Oh God, you need to build a bigger fence. The fence is done. No snow, just a lot of blue sky, believe it or not. Hey, nice.
Hey, you're the one that keep on saying that Dunedin doesn't have good weather. We've experienced good weather in Dunedin. We just,
And we
go
have
with the
experienced bad weather in Dunedin as well. We've
Yeah.
experienced all weather in Dunedin, I think. Cool.
It was
and then
about
he says,
9:30 to 10 last night before it was dark. Yeah, that was the same here. So people were shooting fireworks, but they all had to wait.
Yeah,
they
and
were
I-
shooting fireworks in broad daylight. That was like the saddest things I've ever
I
seen.
know,
Those cheap fireworks, which are already not great. Let's be honest. You compare that from public, amazing, big firework, and then you have those cheap fireworks from a cheap store. And then they were shooting them in broad daylight, and it was like, "Woo."
Yeah,
and you had barely a little piece of light in the sky. That was so sad.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a real problem. They really should find another reason to put fireworks in the sky, or maybe not at all. But
Something in winter.
something in winter, yeah, something where it's when it gets dark a bit earlier would make more sense, right?
Lauren says, maybe panic was a bit of a strong word. She said, I just know I will forget something. I also had great timing losing my wallet on Halloween night on Monday, and I hope I get a credit card back on time. Yeah, that is really poor timing right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, why are you going out on Halloween anyway? It's too scary of a night. I mean, candies are not worth it. The best part of Halloween is the day after Halloween, when all the candies are on sale in the shop. The same on Easter, right? All the chocolates are on sale the day after. That's the best part of Easter.
Well, in theory, but in New Zealand, we've gone with that mantra, because obviously we've lived in different countries. But in New Zealand, we've been like, oh yeah, we're going to go out the day after Easter and see what chocolate's on sale. It's usually still pretty expensive,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really seem to work that way.
But when it comes to forgetting something, though, as Laura was saying before, right? New Zealand is not like a third world country with no availability or anything, right? If you forget something like a pair of socks, or toothbrush or anything, it's very, very, very easy to get, right? So you'll be able to to supplement what you may have forgotten by buying something here in case you forget something. So I don't think it should be too much of a source of stress for you. You can just relax. Just take it easy. It's all going to go well. All right. Lauren says someone found it and mailed it back to me. I received it today. I have my ID, but of course I had cancelled the credit cards. Yeah, well, that's a smart move, obviously. Did you see if you had extra charges or not yet? I mean, if the guy was actually kind enough to actually mail it back to you,
Or girl.
yeah, the guy or girl was nice enough to the person was nice enough to mail it back to you.
Assuming it was a person. It might
Okay,
have been
the living being that was kind enough, or the
the
robot,
life form.
the life form that was kind enough to send it back to you. I don't think they may have done anything too bad. Otherwise, they would have just kept it for themselves. Nathan says, I'm currently jamming out to Michael Bublé Christmas music while tuning to the travel show. Why are you doing that to yourself? It's way too early,
jamming
mate.
out.
Too early.
Can
too
you
early.
jam out to Michael Bublé?
Christmas all the way. No, you can't. All right. Lawrence says, having been in Boston, you should know Beacon Hill is one of the best places to go in Halloween. These guys take it very seriously and go all out. Well, no, I wasn't in Boston for Halloween, so I did not know that. But, that's true. In the US, you guys take Halloween very seriously, very fun.
Very, very seriously.
Anthony says, when we went to the Weta Caves, it was so windy. When we went to a tour, it almost blew us over.
Oh,
wow,
man.
yeah, it is very, very, very windy in Wellington. Speaking of it being really windy in Wellington, every single week we catch up with a French backpacker, which is taking a working holiday here in New Zealand. His name is Armand, and this week he was in Wellington. So let's check out what he got to do today. I mean, this week, and let's catch up with him, and we'll see you back in about 3 minutes.
Kia ora everyone, this is Arman reporting from Kaitoki Regional Park, northeast of Wellington, on the 5th week of my working holiday in New Zealand. Wow, I can't believe it's already been 5 weeks. It's going too fast. So, what have I been up to this week? On Monday for Halloween, I went to Fear Factory in central Wellington, and I must say, I never thought anything could scare me as much as that adventure, that experience did in Fear Factory. In fact, I've played Resident Evil in VR, so I wasn't expecting to be scared nearly as much as I was. I was scared to death. I was shaking the whole time, guys. So yeah, terrific experience for Halloween, and I'll be glad to go back next year. Yesterday I took the train from Wellington station and came to Upper Hutt, but I was supposed to actually go to Kaitoki Reserve, which is where I'm now, but I took a wrong turn and I ended up in the forest, the other side of the highway, whose name I don't recall right now. But still, I had a terrific day. I walked, I believe, about 20 kilometers, which is close to my all-time record. And I took some great shots. I could never have enough of the beautiful landscapes and fresh air, and wow, the wind here is really strong. And I was saying I could never have enough of the beautiful landscapes and nature that Aotearoa provides. So today I came back to Upper Hutt to go this time as planned to Kaitoki Reserve, and yeah, I had a terrific day. It's beautiful. I saw some cows and other animals on the way also. Tomorrow I'm supposed to be going back to Auckland. Hopefully there isn't a cancellation this time. And on Monday I have a job interview. So maybe that'll be the beginning of my first job in New Zealand, hopefully. And I can't believe to attend the World Cup, the Rugby World Cup final next week. Anyways, guys, until next week, take care of yourselves.
All right, what do you think about Armand's time in Wellington?
Yeah,
He got busy, yeah?
It looks fun, yeah, and he did a lot of walking, which is, that's, to be fair, like when I was traveling solo around New Zealand, I spent a lot of time just walking to different places and doing a lot of hiking and it's just a really good, fun way to see more stuff, see more awesome landscapes, and he looks like he really got off the beaten track as well.
Yeah. And first up, I love the Zelda T-shirt, by the way, when you went to Fear Factory. I appreciate that a lot. But the one thing I want to point out about Fear Factory is that he posted on the Facebook group, actually, that on the Patreon Facebook group that we have with our Patreon supporters, he posted the data from his smartwatch, and his heart rate was so high up for the time that he was in Fear Factory. He said like he had data backed terror. I like that a lot. I think that was quite cool. So so when he went to Fear Factory, he had like his heart rate going really, really high up.
Yeah.
And that was kind of fun to see.
And Armand, if you go to Queenstown, you can go do it all over again because they have one in Queenstown too.
Lauren says, "Thank you, Armand. I love how he takes the wrong turn, ends up somewhere random, and still had a great time." That happens a lot to people that travel in New Zealand for the first time. It did happen to me for sure, multiple times. So that's something that happens. But he got really busy in Wellington. Got to see a lot of like the outer Wellington, all different Wellington parks and everything, which is quite cool. And obviously, we're wishing Armand the best luck ever for his interview.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you get the job, mate. That'd be awesome. All right, so let's go back toward the live chat. It's wrapping up with Armand. We have Lauren saying, "Thank you, Armand. I love how you take the wrong turn." And I already read that.
And ends up somewhere random still. It's a great time. Yeah.
I already read that. Okay, Adil, what is Adil saying?
Adil says, speaking of sunscreen, what would you two advise? Pack in one suitcase or buy from New Zealand on arrival?
Well, the first thing that I would like to say is that, when you arrive in New Zealand and you're about to explore an awesome country, why would you put yourself into the shoes of somebody that has to go do shopping? Don't bother with that. Go explore New Zealand. So I'd say get your sunscreen before you arrive in New Zealand for sure. Plus, you're usually going to have more choices, and it's going to be a little bit, cheaper because, in New Zealand we have to import everything from ingredients to packaging to everything. So it tends to be a little bit more expensive. So for this reason, I would suggest you buy it before you arrive in New Zealand, but still keep New Zealand in mind when buying your sunscreen. Make sure to get something which is reef and ocean safe. Something natural will be better, but also make sure to have a good protection, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the UV rays in New Zealand are higher than what you might experience, for instance, in Europe, in America, basically anywhere else.
You'll burn much faster than what you used to.
So because the
compared
UV
to Leeds, what about the UV
compared to Leeds, it is so much stronger, and it's hard to describe until you come here, really. So basically what we're trying to say is don't cheap out on the SPF factor, right? Don't go for 50, like factor 15. Don't go for those low numbers whatsoever. That is not going to protect you enough. You should get at least 30 SPF. That is always a good go-to. When it comes to going to 50 SPF, you're only adding 1% more UV protection there. So when you have to pick between 30 and 50, usually you just go for the better deal, and that's fine. I wouldn't go too crazy and being like, oh no, I need to get back to 50, but it's, more expensive or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just stick with SPF 30, and that is more than adequate to protect you from the sun in New Zealand. However, you do need to make sure you reapply. Usually it's every 2 to 3 hours reapplying, or put it back on if you've just been swimming or just after you've dried off and stuff. Just reapply straight away. But of course, there are other ways of protecting yourself from the sun rather than just putting lots of sunscreen on. Having like a light shirt or something covering up parts of your body, a sun hat, or a cap or whatever. There's obviously other ways that you can protect yourself from the sun that is easier to sort of handle than always lathering yourself up in sunscreen. So we tend to sort of remember those two is a good thing. To make sure you pack some long sleeve layers or light layers when you are coming in summer as well, to cover yourself up and protect yourself from the sun.
And Lawrence has a follow-up question. She say, can you explain what's happening to the UV over New Zealand and why is it so special? So it's not any different than a lot of other places in the world, right? The Earth has an elliptical orbit around the sun, and so that means that we're closer to the sun during the summer months, and the summer months are different than what you have on your side of the world. So our summer months are December, January, and February. And on top of that, and what probably makes one of the highest difference is that the air in New Zealand is relatively clean. And so for this reason, the UV radiation is less likely to be scattered over, and more of the UV rays are actually, landing and hitting the ground here in New Zealand as compared to places which are a little bit more polluted. And obviously, like in every place in the world, during summer in New Zealand, the ozone layer thins a little bit, and so therefore there is less protection between the sun and your skin. So it's just kind of like a combination of all those factors, and it's a surprise that a lot of people are having in New Zealand. I also think because our summer is a little bit less hot than other places, so when you feel a little bit more cold, you don't necessarily think you're going to be burning, but you burn that fast. So there is a bit of there is obviously a lot of different factors that combine together. I don't think there is like one specific cause you can point out. I used to say something very wrong, so I'm not going to repeat it anymore. But yeah, so I was told once a reason that was very wrong that has been debunked either by science or by the fact that I got it from somebody, and you should always fact check your sources. But God knows. So yeah, so it's just that. So it's just a combination of things. Jonathan Vincent is here.
Jonathan, yeah.
Jonathan, sorry.
Good morning. I haven't been for a while, so I thought I'd come to say hi. Hi, Jonathan. Yeah.
Sorry for butchering a simple name like yours.
Yeah.
I am just a terrible.
That is one of the names we feel we can pronounce. And
well, you may. Apparently, I stuffed that up.
No, it's nice to see you on here again, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Lawrence says, "Oh, I understood. Thanks, Robin. I'll need to be extra careful. I sunburn very easily. So do I, Lawrence. So do I."
Share the adventures here.
Share the adventure says, "Morena, wife and I are going to hit the South Island in February/March.
Whoop, whoop.
We're going to rent a motorhome for the trip. Do you have experience with any rental companies that you can recommend? Preferably one to leave down south. Maybe not Juicy.
No Juicy.
Yeah, we wouldn't recommend Juicy too highly either."
So do we have experience with rental companies that we can recommend? Hells yeah, we try most of them in order to be able to rank them, review them for the site. So yeah, definitely. We actually do have our listings right here on the website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift to my beautiful face. I apologize for that. I'll show you where it is on the site first, so like that you can have some reading. You can do your homework, but then Laura is going to go over some of her favorites. All right, so if you go on the site right here, you're going to go on travel tips and then transportation, and then you have camper van rentals right here. So then obviously you close the ads. We got to pay some bills. And then right here, we actually usually kind of rank them by kind of criterias, right? So we obviously have some general tips as well, and we have the best ones in New Zealand. But then after, we also have some which are living from specific places, like Auckland, for instance. So you may be looking for something that lives, for example, from Christchurch or from Queenstown, since you are heading to the South Island. And for example, let's have a look at the Christchurch one, which is where a lot of people start their road trip in the South Island of New Zealand. And then just right here, we go over some of our favorites. Obviously, some of the best service and everything will be companies that are a little bit more expensive, but it's because they put a lot of investment into their awesome camper vans and all that. So yeah, so you do have our recommendations just right here. So I will actually copy and paste this one for you in the live chat, and Laura will talk to you about some of her favorites.
Okay, so...
No. Sorry, wow.
Armand's back.
No, okay, we're back. Here, Laura, go for it.
All right, yeah, so as Robin sort of mentioned, there is, for instance, Wilderness Campers, which are definitely a sort of up there high-end brand. They have very good quality motorhomes, and they're really cleverly designed and basically have all the inclusions that you would want. They've thought of everything. So
one of the things that I like about them, though, I'm just gonna point that out about inclusions, is that if you do plan on swapping who's driving, you don't have to pay an extra fee. A lot of camper van companies will actually charge you for an extra driver. We always appreciate the fact that it's hassle-free. Don't have to go over to this is how I'm going to be traveling, and have to start ticking some boxes and then start charging you for some more. Actually, we have Tamo right here in the chat that says, "I vote for Wilderness." Yes,
he's using them right now.
He's currently traveling with Wilderness Camper. They're good people. Do you like it, Tamo? What do you like about your camper van? And also, how big is the one that you got? I think you got quite a large one, right?
Yeah, so they have different sizes as well. They're all motorhomes.
Yeah.
But there's like, you know, if you're maybe a little bit anxious about driving a really massive motorhome, they do have smaller ones that are still really good, but, you know, more compact. So, or you can go massive and be like, you know, bossing the road that way. There's some nice motorhome rentals that are like family sort of small family owned type rentals. There's quite a lot of them in Christchurch as well, like Camper South. They don't have any huge brandings on their vans, so you know that's, although it's not really a massive problem in New Zealand, it just makes you sort of not look standing out too much as a tourist in case you are parking your van somewhere that maybe thieves might want to target. It's not really a massive problem, but that's just one of the nice things about their camper vans.
Can you recommend the last brands? We're not going to go over all the brands. There's a lot of brands in New Zealand. Can you recommend a last brand?
Yeah, and then there's Euro Campers, which has, you know, they're sort of a good mid-range camper van company where you can choose from smaller motorhomes to, large motorhomes and then smaller sort of vans as well. But yeah, they usually have a lot of different deals, so they're kind of good for their price.
The one thing you need to know with those guys is that if you want to have access to the whole range, you need to be above 25 years old. And they also own 2 other brands. So a lot of companies own multiple brands. They own 2 other brands. One of them is called Heron and the other one is called Budgie. Heron is definitely more expensive. A Euro camper would be in the middle and Budgie would be the budget version of it. And they kind of cycle their fleet through that. So their fleet probably starts with Heron, and then when it gets a little bit older, it goes to Euro, and then when it gets really old, it goes to Budgie.
Yeah.
But that allows you to have something for all taste and everything. So that would be kind of like some that comes to your mind, obviously, for South Island campers. For Christchurch. So I gave you the link right here, but yeah, feel free to keep on having a look a little bit around. You say you want to live it down south. Maybe one of the things that you're trying to do is to actually start in Auckland and live it down south. And so at that point, again, wilderness camper will be a decent option because the one-way fee is included. So you wouldn't pay a fee to leave it somewhere else. That way you pick it up. And that's something that a lot of people want to be doing. And usually there is a fee, which can be quite hefty. Like, actually, I saw one company that had a $450 fee for that, which I
that's
feel
quite
is
common.
Insane.
Yeah,
but it's just so much. It used to be $250 when I used to travel around. That was kind of fine. That was just an extra day of rental. Like, bam, done and dusted. Okay. So, what do we have? Joey is here and says hello.
Hello.
Baby Burn said, hey guys, long time no see, sir. Says, love the new set. Yeah, thank you very much. We did a lot of work in the set, and we created that, I don't know, three sessions
maybe
ago.
about three sessions ago now.
So Talmo is talking about wilderness. He says, I vote for wilderness. I got the smallest one as I travel solo. It's called Compact for 2, and it is 6 meters long. Yeah, that sounds easy enough to drive. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Joey said, if I drive, I'd go Juicy or Brits Motorhome Republic is the site to check out. Juicy and Brits are a bit more corporate. They usually have a lot of different fees and everything, so that's why they are not the kind of stuff that we kind of recommend. I feel like they do have good marketing, but you do pay for the marketing with your rental rather than paying for the service and the and the quality of vans. So just need to be aware of that. Share the Adventure says, of course it's on the site. It all is. Thank you, gang. I appreciate all the work you do for us. You're very welcome, Share the Adventure. No problem. If you do want even more help to plan your trip in New Zealand, feel free to join us on Patreon. We'd love to have you on board. And speaking of transition, hey guys, I'm going to talk about Patreon for a second. If you want to support all the hard work that we are doing and get yourself some awesome perks, feel free to join us on Patreon. Using Patreon, you'll be able to pay us like $5 a month or some extra stuff if you want to, and you'll have access to us on the secret Facebook group where we interact with you every single day. We also do some Google Meets where we literally hang out, like face to face. We actually have another one coming up tomorrow, which is really exciting. We give you PDF guides of New Zealand that I haven't published anywhere else. You have extra live sessions like this one, another one every single Sunday, which is really cool, and many more perks. We're building a really cool communities of people traveling in New Zealand. There's some meetups organizing as well, which is really fun. So yeah, feel free to join us on Patreon, even if it's just for 1 month to see how it is. It's a really fun community, and we'd love to have you on board. Boom, we're back.
Hey.
All right, where are we at?
We have Tamo saying what I like about Wilderness is although they aren't the cheapest, they do not have any hidden fees.
Yeah, so that's something that we always really appreciate. Like for example, the worst thing is like those. What's that fee that you have to pay? For the diesel road user charge. Yeah, so there are some companies which I'm not going to name, but they were mentioned prior in this live shows. That add like road user charges and everything. If you don't pay for like the insurance, the premium insurance, they actually don't include them. So you will be charged per amount of kilometers that you've done at the end of your trip and all this kind of thing. It just gets really, it gets kind of hassly, right? And you're here for a holiday, just get something that kind of works well, that you know is reliable, and that also that wouldn't have any extra fee. Tamo, when he's going to be done with his trip, he gives the key back, and if the camper van is still all in one piece, he will have no extra paperwork to do, which is pretty good. It's not the case with a lot of other companies. So that's what we appreciate. And again, it doesn't matter which one you're booking for, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter. I just want to make that really clear. All right.
Adil says, thank you so much for all your help. You are very welcome, Adil. Any more questions? Send them our way. We are here for another, how long? 30 minutes or so?
Yes.
So,
yeah, about that. So we have half an hour for you guys to help you plan your trip. So yeah. I think Tamo is doing the evening at Hobbiton tonight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, if I'm correct, isn't it? I have the. So with our Patreons, what we also have is that you guys have a big spreadsheet where you can put your trip on there, and so we kind of know where you are and when you're at. Sometimes we like send tips and everything as well. And so I think Tamo is about to stuff himself at Hobbiton. So I think he's skipping lunch. I'm not sure, but I think he's skipping lunch today.
I would skip lunch for that. You do want to save some room.
Is this thing too bright in the background? I'm almost thinking it may be too bright. Anyway, we just decided to.
Is there a way to turn it down?
We used to have this in like our earliest of videos, and I found that in one of the boxes when I was redoing the studio. I was like, maybe we'll use it again just for the funnies. But yeah. Joey says, Tamo, lucky. I'm keen to do my Hobbiton banquet. Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure. He will need to confirm first, right? I'm not sure. We also have another one of our Patreon. Her name is Christina. She's traveling with her husband Barry, and today. Actually, right now, as we speak, she's probably boarding the boat to go whale watching in Kaikoura, which is another really cool one.
Amazing.
She treated herself to the captain's lounge as well. She was like, you can upgrade. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to go for the captain's lounge.
Nice.
Extreme Talauta is here saying Morena. What's Morena means? I didn't even ask today.
Oh, thanks for asking, Robin. It means good morning in the Maori language, Te Reo Maori.
Here you go. What is Tamo saying?
Tamo says, you are correct. I'm going to Hobbiton, and I don't just skip lunch, but also breakfast for that. Oh,
now
God.
you're not
going to be starving.
You better have some food though. All right.
You'll be dragging yourself around Hobbiton. Like, can we just finish the tour already and get to dinner?
And indeed, speaking of Hobbiton, in your honor, Tamo, we have a special question of the day. Let's just recap quickly. What's the question of the day? Question of the day. Question of the day.
Yeah.
Question of the Lord of the Rings special. Laura, go for it. What's the question of the day?
The question of the day is, what is the best way to cook potatoes? Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Ooh, you almost gave it the rhythm just yet. Ooh.
Not just yet.
We are that close to the song. We're that close to getting Laura to sing that silly song. Oh, my God. Joe is asking Tamo if he skipped second breakfast, not just normal. Yeah, maybe you skipped second breakfast.
Lawrence says, in tater tots for yum. Boil them, mash them.
Tater tots them.
Tater tots them.
That would make much less, fantasy, glorious things like tater tots.
You could get a little like Gollum-shaped tater tot.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, like if those hobbits had packed a few hot pockets, that would have made that trip a bit easier.
Bit of hash browns.
Yeah. There's no macas along the way. Macas is the Kiwi slang from McDonald's. Okay, what is Todd saying?
Todd says, seems most hikes say bring plenty of water, but I see streams, etc. Is there any restrictions on getting water from nature and filter, etc.? Well, if you do have a very good filter for taking the water from the streams...
Laura's going to talk about another brand that she really likes.
No.
We're not paid by those brands, but
I'll get to that later.
You will. Here you go.
Fine. But yeah... the New Zealand water quality is, despite New Zealand's brand being 100% pure and stuff, bear in mind there are a lot of farms in New Zealand. There's a lot of, intensive farming, a lot of...
In fact, I think 80% of our rivers are not safe for swimming. So,
exactly.
yeah.
So you shouldn't really take water from anywhere unless you are 100% sure it is like, you're in the top of the mountain from a mountain spring. Perhaps that is safe, but there are a lot of streams that are not safe in New Zealand. The Department of Conservation always says, even at their huts, that you should always boil water from the water collection they do or the streams that they use. They always recommend that you boil water because there has been, I forget the name of the water disease, but there is a very common disease in the waters in New Zealand. I have it written.
So I only have all the South Pacific diseases
yeah,
in my head.
Yeah. But there is bacteria that it can make you ill, and
I'll find it.
So you should. You can take, there's no restrictions on taking the water for drinking, right? But if you do that, you should boil it for at least 10 minutes to be on the safe side. And alternatively, there are other ways to make water safe for drinking. There are certain water filtration bottles and things that you can get. For instance, Life Straw is a really famous one where it filters like 99.9999% of bacteria, etc.
We use it a lot in the South Pacific.
It's a brand that we personally use and that we have used with very questionable water, and it's the one above. It's Giardia. Giardia is the one that is found in a lot of New Zealand streams.
Yeah.
So definitely take precautions for drinking water.
So indeed, yes. So Giardia, is the disease that comes out of a lot of wastes from dairy farming and cattle farming in New Zealand. And so a lot of rivers are affected by that. Even some hikes that you would be doing around, they may be just above water and everything. There may be, just upstream, there may be another farm and everything. So don't necessarily drink it from the stream unless it has been correctly filtered. And so, in the South Pacific, there are some similar diseases as well. And we found a solution by using Life Straw water bottles. But you do need a lot of water when you hike in New Zealand. It gets hot really, really quickly. So, here you go, Todd. Okay, Fabio says, stupid time changes in New Zealand and Europe. Sorry, guys. That's okay. This was practice round because we have the Google Meet next, tomorrow. So like that, you can just practice the time changes. So at 8 a.m. tomorrow, we'll do the Google Meet for Patreon. So here you go. You know what time it is now. Extreme Toyota says, Laura, you remind me of that scene from The Lord of the Rings.
How interesting. Well, maybe we have been inspired by...
Maybe we've been inspired by Tamo going to Hobbiton.
Yeah. Fabio says water quality is quite a thing in New Zealand. I think Kiwis are more concerned about it than we are. If the water is clear, you're kind of okay with it.
Well, it is like, we have had those kind of diseases. It is really, really not fun. It's quite common to get. It genuinely does affect you and you actually genuinely do catch it. So keeping that in mind is important. And speaking of that, Todd says, OMG! I would never have thought about farming and contamination. You both rock. Thanks for all you do. You're very welcome, Todd. We are here to help, educate, and share knowledge in kind of a less polished way than obviously promotional things that will tell you that everything is 100% pure. There is also the hard fact in there. Fabio says it tastes like chlorine because Kiwi treats it like crazy. So you're talking about tap water, Fabio, and that's only in like the taste of chlorine is only in several like larger cities. For example, where we live in a very small town. There is no chlorine treatment, so the water doesn't taste like chlorine. So you have like, you can find kind of everything, but right now what Todd was asking is like, getting sources from literally a stream when you hike, and obviously they will be non-treated at that point. Joey says, can't drink from that stream on the way to Milford Sound.
There is a famous stream that all the buses stop at called Monkey Creek.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I mean, because there has been a lot of like uproar in the media about contaminated streams and stuff recently, and admittedly we haven't been on a Milford Sound tour in about 2 years, so I don't know in the last couple of years if they've stopped going to Monkey Creek or not. But I mean, I think like the mountainous areas like that, if tours take you somewhere and they're going to suggest to drink from a stream, they probably are aware that it is okay to drink. So
and to be fair, I mean, the word, I mean, it's not something that's going to kill you, right? You're just going to be very uncomfortable.
You're just going to be going to the toilet a lot, so
you're
that
just
might
going to be
ruin
like,
your
you know what, I'm
holiday.
going to try every bug in the country for the next 3 days. It's just, that's basically what it is. But nobody wants to do that when
I feel like we've talked maybe a bit too much about toilets with Joey, so maybe we should move on.
Yeah, move on.
Lawrence says, we're changing time here tonight too. Thanks for that reminder.
You're very welcome, Lawrence. So like that, you can just calculate your time and make it on time tomorrow. Speaking of, I don't know, not speaking of nothing. No transition.
Speaking of consuming food and stuff, Extreme Taluta says, I'm just having some Rowena bread.
We were talking about Rowena bread on a Facebook group, actually.
Rowena bread.
Yeah, Rowena
bread. We're not so great at pronouncing that. But we were talking about that on the Patreon Facebook group because it's a style of Maori bread that a lot of only just like locals make and might sell it within their local communities, but we really are struggling to find places that sell it commercially, at bakeries and things like that. There is one place in Whangarei, I think, that is, and Peter was saying about it as well, one of our other Patreons, and he was saying that there's like a special bakery that does it there, but other than that, quite hard to find. There are those sort of like very unusual foods that can be quite hard to find around New Zealand.
Fabio says, I'm talking about tap water. We couldn't find a place in New Zealand where the tap water was not chlorine out of the pipe. On hike, definitely have to get water clean 100%. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah, so on a hike, you can filter it or you can boil it and you'll be good. And Joey
there's iodine tablets.
We use our filter stuff. It works so well. I mean, if it works in the South Pacific where the amount of bacteria you have in the water are way greater, I think it should work. But obviously, read how it works, and we love it. Anyway, Joey says that's the one, Monkey Creek. We were told not to drink from it the last 2 times I've been. So here you go.
Interesting. Thanks for the update, Joey.
I definitely did drink from Monkey Creek when
I have as well.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of like now you can't drink anymore because they've done some research. They're like, that's a lot of bacteria in the water. But beforehand, it was kind of like, well, Robin's going to go to the bog. It's fine. Why just me? Honestly, that's unfair, but that's okay. It's fine. All right.
Extreme Taluta says he got some of the bread yesterday in Hamilton.
Where did you get it?
Is that from like a bakery or anything?
Like a marketplace or where? Just tell us.
Yeah.
Especially we need to tell Peter. Peter was asking about that. What is Anthony saying?
Anthony says, by the way, I tried that wheat Bix. It's bland, but it ain't as bad as, I'm going to say,
he's going to say
Marmite.
So Anthony has been, in a mission to try literally the absolute worst food in New Zealand that I keep on complaining about. And so he tried Marmite not that long ago. And good on him. For giving it a shot. You're insane, but that's okay. And now he tried Weet-Bix. So I compare Weet-Bix to cardboard. So, I always compare it to cardboard because it's so bland. It's literally just,
What I used to do with...
You were right. He said Marmite, by the way.
Yeah. What I used to do with the UK version of Weet-Bix, which is Weet-A-Bix, is I used to just put
completely different.
I know, very different.
Way.
Tastes exactly the same, but you just need to sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top, and have a little bit of milk with it, and that makes it,
Wow!
Edible.
Sold!
Okay, admittedly, I haven't bought any in years. I haven't even bought any Weet-Bix since, I don't know. I have tried Weet-Bix in New Zealand, usually at breakfasts at accommodations and stuff when they have it as an option.
When they have when they do a breakfast, like some accommodation, they will do a cooked breakfast, when you have breakfast included. Sometimes you have a buffet, and so you will have
even some hostels do free breakfast.
That's true.
So there's usually stuff.
All right, so where are we at? Joey says he drank from Monkey Creek the first time he went in early 2017. That seems to make sense. Extreme Tarata says at the Seafood Bazaar in Te Rapa you can get it. So here you go, Peter. Seafood Bazaar in Te Rapa in Hamilton.
Interesting, yeah. Thanks for finding us some Extreme Taluta. Cool.
Adil says, Robin, I don't think the subscribe sign in the background is necessary since you put the notice on the screen from time to time. Yeah, makes sense. I may just put something different in here then.
We just change it up every week.
Yeah. Then Anthony says, not as bad as Marmite. We read that. Lawrence, what is she saying?
You're supposed to put Wheat Bix in milk, right? Yes, you are. You are supposed to do that. But I have seen a lot of people who are not familiar with the concept just eating it dry. Usually,
Well, Clay was trying to drive me crazy by eating, like he took a slab of Wheat Bix and spread some Marmite in it and biting it. It's somewhere on the Patreon Facebook group. He did a video of that and it drove me absolutely nuts.
I noticed that in like places like Benin, they've started doing bins of Wheat Bix and stuff. I think you know
It's the beginning of the end.
we could
No. No, go away. No.
We could do a special Sunday morning breakfast.
No.
For our next live show.
No.
All right.
Clay
saying, try them both together, Anthony, with Marge.
Oh, God, that sounds like the absolute worst, mate.
Don't do it, Anthony. Don't ruin your holiday. Fabio says, Fabio's question of the day.
Question of the day.
What is the best way to drive/get to 90 Mile Beach? Kiwi Fraud, 90 Miles Beach.
Yeah. It's not 90 miles, and we don't use miles in New Zealand. Yeah. So the best way to get there, honestly, and I know it's kind of like it's the easy way, but honestly, the best way is to take the bus tour. You know, you base yourself in Pahia, in the Bay of Islands. You have a blast over there, and you do one of those day tours that will take you in the bus and go all the way up there and all the way to Cape Reinga and then come back all the way back to Pahia. It's a really long day tour, like akin to what you will do for Milford Sound, but it's definitely worth doing by bus because you will drive, you know, by on the beach with the bus. The bus is equipped for that. They will stop at the sand dunes, and you will get all the bodyboard, so you get to do sandboarding.
Yeah.
They drop you off all the way at Cape Reinga, and you do all that. The lunch is included. You have a fish and chips. It is just fun, honestly.
Yeah.
I think and also it is kind of a trek. It's kind of a big drive to go all the way over there and everything.
And if
it's just easier.
You want to get the experience of going on 90 Mile Beach, and there is a risk of taking like a car, your own car or a rental car.
And there's no rental car company that actually accepts for you to go there.
Yeah.
You're not insured
your
if you go up there, so
insurance
you're not
policy
allowed
will
to
be
do that.
void if you take it onto there because there's been a lot of cars lost to 90 Mile Beach before, like people getting stuck in the sand and stuff. So because that like 90 Mile Beach is all about using it as the highway, doing the sandboarding and stuff, and the safest way to do that is with a bus company.
Yeah. Also, you get to enjoy, like, rather than stressing driving it and everything, you get to really enjoy it. So, I mean, it's obviously our opinion only, and if you really want to drive it on your own, well, then buy your own car, drive it on, you know, I mean, just go through all the steps,
yeah,
right?
go to the Te Paki stream is where the buses access 90 Mile Beach, so you can access it through there as well, but it is a stream as well, so there is water mixed in there, and then it makes it a little bit more gnarly for taking your own car. So that's a place to go if you are taking your own car, but we wouldn't necessarily recommend it.
Clay continue with the horrendous food recommendation and offering to add Milo on top of Wheat Bix, Marmite, and Marge. I mean, do you want to put a couple of pineapple lumps on top as well? And a slice of beetroots, because New Zealanders, they like to put beetroots in things.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? One day, Clay, I'll do your breakfast. You will regret that. Okay, Anthony says you should try to whoever tried them. Okay, basically, no, don't try them together. Yes, I agree with you, Anthony.
Lawrence says, Clay, I threw up a little. Thanks for that.
This is the kind of thing that we get into in the Patreon group right here with this guy. Anyway, Clay says de nada, which means you're welcome. Fabio says, second question of the day. Who is actually not meeting in Cape Reinga? Watch Tom Scott's video on Cape Reinga. I don't think I get the reference, but I will Google it and figure that out next time. JT is here, the great JT, one of our amazing newest Patreon, says, in Greymouth now, heading north. Love this country. Milford Sound was heaven on earth.
Awesome.
Wow. So Greymouth heading north. Where is JT? Is it going to Karamea, you think, or
maybe Westport, and then heading towards the Nelson Lakes, going up to the Picton area.
Ooh, speculation, JT. Tell us where you're heading toward.
If you're in Greymouth, I'm guessing you're going to be seeing the Punakaiki Pancake Rocks.
Oh yeah, you've got to
soon.
stop there. You've got to stop there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the Punakaiki Cavern is another really cool attraction just off the side of the road.
Yeah, it's both of them will take you. One of them will take you 10 minutes. The other one's going to take you 5. So it's definitely worth taking the time to actually check them out. Punakaiki Cavern and Punakaiki Pancake Rocks and Blowholes. So yeah, we want to know where you're heading.
Yeah.
Ash says, Kia ora, Laura and Robin, just 2 more weeks to go. Ooh, are you prepared, Ash? Are you prepared?
Got all your stuff packed.
Yeah. Clay says, no, Wheat Bix, milk and Milo. Even I'm not that crazy. Well, I mean, hey, do not blame me for thinking that of you. I've seen videos of what you eat, you crazy fool. Extreme Talota says, oh, and that seafood, the crayfish was $130 a kg. Whoa, that is expensive. Actually, speaking of crayfish, yesterday our neighbor just showed up with crayfish salad, like big, like a
big tub of it.
two crayfish equivalent of crayfish salad, and we had a blast. That was delicious. If you don't know what crayfish is New Zealand version of lobster, and it was phenomenal dinner that we had.
Yeah, and as Extreme Taluta is saying, it is usually very expensive to buy, but we're just we're lucky enough to have some connections.
Yeah, we've got the down low, you know.
We have our crayfish guy, and we felt very privileged to be just casually snacking on a crayfish salad while we were playing some board games with our neighbor, and it was just like, wow, we feel really fancy.
We have Ash that says, yes, very prepared. NZ Pocket Guide has been a great resource. Oh, that's nice. Excellent. Thank you. What are you the most looking forward to in your entire trip to New Zealand? What's going to be, what you think is going to be the highlight? And then when you come back after your trip, I'll ask you, what was the highlight? And we'll see if the expectation matched. That'd be fun. Fabio says, my dogs want to go for a walk. He doesn't know anything about time change. Oh. Have a nice rest of live stream. I'm not here until the end. Oh. I like that. Well, hopefully you pop into the Patreon exclusive live show. That'd be fun as well.
Say hi to your dogs from us.
Yes. All right, guys. So we're not done yet. We still have a good 5 minutes answering all your questions. So if you have some last minute questions, let's go for it. But I want to tell you about next week. Next week, we're going to do this live show. Yes, we will, but we'll do it on the road. It'll be fun. So we're going to make our way somewhere in New Zealand, and we'll actually drive all together. So we'll do that live from our car. So you get to see the road. You get to see us driving in New Zealand. That'd be a fun, different location to do this live show. You'll have to bear with us a little bit because obviously doing the live show on the go, it's a bit harder to read all the questions. Laura will be our showrunner then because I'm going to be driving, and I'm going to focus 99% on the road and only 1% on you guys. I will answer questions that Laura reads, but do not count on me for actually just be reading comment. That would be too nuts. But that's going to be the plan next week. So yeah, join us for a very special live session. So if you don't have a reminder, go on the channel and get yourself a reminder.
Click that notification bell.
Whatever she says. And yeah, we will be on the road. It'll be fun. We are very much looking forward to it. I've prepared things in the car to make it easier for us. It is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to have a fun road trip. So join us for a fun road trip, 8 a.m. New Zealand time next week.
And Fabio has sent us a super chat. Thank you, Fabio, with his dogs, I presume, saying.
I know. I
so
cannot
cute.
believe that you have I think it's the name of those dogs. I was looking into it is Shiba dog, right?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, I think they're Shiba dogs, I think. And he has an emoji of his dog. I mean, how cool is that?
Anyway, is adorable.
Bye-bye. And thank you so much for the donation, Fabio. You are a gem. Fabio was the guy that forced us, strong-armed us into going onto Patreon. So yeah, he's awesome.
And we've never looked back.
Yeah. Ash says, Milford Sound is what I'm the most excited about. We are excited about the dark sky in Twizel. Also, but it looks like next week maybe rain.
No.
Oh, don't think the weather is not going to change within a week, mate.
Yeah.
Don't close the door on that just yet. And JT actually said Milford Sound just a little bit 5 minutes ago said Milford Sound was heaven on earth. So here you go.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of JT, what's JT saying?
I was just going to say, Extreme Taluta says, I'm planning to go back out diving on Xmas and Boxing Day.
Ooh, nice. So you're going to get yourself some crayfish and powers.
Nice. And then JT says, yes, Pancake Rocks this morning, headed to Picton in a few days, national parks north of us, might jump over to Kaikoura and circle up before getting the ferry.
Ooh.
Nice. A lot to explore.
Nice.
And,
all right.
The crayfish in Kaikoura is pretty expensive too. So,
nice.
Yeah, maybe don't want to buy that.
Yeah, JT, maybe if where will you be next Sunday? Will we be driving like side by side? We'll be driving around the Topo area, so we'll be driving together. Like maybe you just honk and be like, hey, so you make an appearance the live show. That could be fun. Anyway,
Adil says.
Ash was saying.
Says, and yes, I'll update you on how the trip went after returning.
Of course, we do want to know.
Yes. Adil says, we have wheat bix here in South Africa, really good with milk and some fruit.
That's okay, Adil. Usually you're right, and we're having fun discussion on this one. On this instance, you're wrong. And it's okay to be wrong. It's fine.
With fruit sounds quite nice.
It's wheat bix. It's bloody cardboard.
Lawrence says, next week I'll be in Auckland. Can't wait to join you from there. Patreon is a great choice.
Yeah.
Glad you think so, Lawrence.
Already, Lawrence, already in Auckland. Look how time flies. It's going to be so fun.
Clay says, off to Invergiggle. That's funny. Have a good one, guys. Have a good one in Invergiggle.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
All right. In case I can't watch the live stream next week, how is parking in the big city? Is free parking available on streets near restaurants? Hell no, you've got to pay, mate. In most of the cities, it's methods, so you will have to pay. You can pay usually with either a debit, like a New Zealand FPOS card, or you can pay. Can you pay with coins? I think you can.
Yeah, you can pay with coins. Can you not pay with any Visa or MasterCard, right?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember.
I would say get some coins out, get some change out just in case. But I think we usually pay with coins because that's usually a good way to get rid of coins.
Yes.
So
you accumulate coins, right? And that's how we get rid of our coins.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you should be in theory you should be okay with Visa and MasterCards, but get some coins out.
But no,
just
you
in case.
usually parking, especially in the big cities like Wellington and Auckland, it is an actual pain.
Yeah.
Parking spots are rarely available.
Yeah.
And even when you go to the really big paid parkings, there are, the one that you have to pay very much a lot for. They are often, especially in Auckland Central, fully booked already. So
yeah. Even in towns like Rotorua, right in the city centre, if you do want to park right outside of some of the
on a good summer day, you
even if you do want to park right in front of cafes and stuff in Rotorua city centre, there's metered parking, but then there's free parking kind of on the outskirts that you can walk into town from there. So at least in towns like Rotorua, there are options to not have to pay, but in Auckland, it's usually too big for you to, have to find somewhere free and then walk. So, yeah, you will have to pay.
You'll have to pay for parking. That's a true fact of life in the big cities of New Zealand. Extreme Talata said, did you take photos of the carving in Tokoroa? With the carving. No, I don't think we have a photo of us with the carving. Maybe we should do it this time around.
Yeah,
maybe we should stop by, just take a quick photo for you, Extreme Talata.
We'll do that. We only have pictures of the carvings, not with us in it, just enjoying it for all its glory and stuff, just on its own. But yeah, not with us, not with us.
Not with us.
We'll take a selfie with the carvings. Sometimes it's hard to get everything in, but.
Actually, if we're driving south to north, we're going to be on the wrong side of the road, so I'm going to have to...
You're going to have to pull over.
Oh, I'm going to have to pull over, but I'll do it for you, but I hate pulling over. No, we're not going to have to pull over. I'm going to have to cross roads, and then I can park. So there's parking literally just right by the carving, where there's all those little shops, all the takeaways.
Near the McDonald's.
Laura has priorities.
Yeah.
But yeah, so nearby, there's a parking, so you can go. Yeah, I can go do the loop. Anyway, okay, I will work on that. Hopefully, we'll still be live. I don't think we will, because we're gonna leave Taupo around 8, so we're planning on starting by the lakefront of Lake Taupo, because last time we did a live show driving, we finished right at the lakefront of Lake Taupo, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, I thought it would be. Sorry, there's somebody to hide. Here you go. You're gone. So yeah, we finished there, so we thought it'd be fun to start from there, just to kind of have these things. So we'll do a drive earlier in the morning, go all the way to the Taupo lakefront, and then we'll start heading north. So I don't know, in 2 hours, will we make it to Tokoroa? 2 hours from Taupo. I think it'd be right by the end.
Yeah,
maybe that's when we wrap it up.
Close, yeah.
Maybe
we can wrap it up at the carving.
At the carving of Tokoroa, howling carving. Anyway, we'll see how that works. Because obviously it's going to be a bit more on the fly, guys. While we stop and we start and we do all these kind of things. So yeah, we'll try to make it work, and we probably will, hopefully.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, while you guys are coming up with literally the last question of the week, we are going to close the question of the day, and we'll see who's the winner. What's the winner? Question of the day.
Yeah.
question of the
Day.
All right, all the hobbits is out. We ask you, what is the best way to cook potatoes? And Laura is gonna read the answer.
Is it boil? Well, it's all out of order now. But is it boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew?
Woo.
Boil 'em, mash 'em, boil 'em, mash 'em, boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. There was a YouTube remix back in the day that was
right.
of that.
Okay, Laura is old and a nerd.
Yeah. Hello. Nice to meet you. Okay.
All right, what's the voice of the
so,
people?
the voice of the people have spoken, and they've said that mash 'em 50%.
Yeah.
So, half the people, that's what 50% is, prefer to mash 'em. 25%.
Because they're like a mashup. They're like a mashup song.
Yeah.
That's what they're like.
Boil 'em, mash 'em. So, yeah, boil 'em is at 25%, and then stick 'em in a stew is at 25%.
Potato.
Very interesting
So now,
data.
can you do the song in the correct order according to people, or will you be thrown off?
Okay,
Potato.
so it goes potatoes, mash 'em, boil 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
That feels weird to you. I can see it in your eyes. That's funny.
Yeah, well, Robin, I want to know, how would you prefer your potatoes?
Honestly, I want them as hash browns.
That's not an option.
I think I'm with Lawrence right here. I'm like a hash brown tater tots right here. That's my. But yeah, no. If I have to choose, I think I agree with everybody, and I'd mash them. I'd mash them. It's nice milk, and you can even put like a little bit of cheese in there to make like a cheesy
Oh, you just
mash.
love sticking cheese with everything. It's
Yeah,
so
boy.
French.
Yeah, boy.
It's just like your answer to everything is just put cheese in it.
A bit of cheese, a bit of wine actually in mashed potatoes, like white wine and
that
cheese
would be
in there.
quite nice.
I know, white wine, cheese, like that mashed potatoes.
It
and
actually
everything.
sounds like you're turning it into a stew.
Nah, you're wrong.
Yeah,
you're wrong.
You are.
Okay, Lauren says that wasn't a fair question. There are so many good ways to cook potatoes. I agree with that. Anthony Comstock says stay safe, but I'm here until the end. Funny thing, you have to boil them before you mash them. That is
I know,
true.
that is very true. So
There you go. Anthony was like, it's not fair. Two of them are the same answer, basically.
Yeah. One is more processed than the other.
Indeed. All right, guys, before we leave, make sure to hit like and subscribe. We'll see you next week again. We're going to be on the road, so don't miss that one. It's going to be 8 a.m. New Zealand time. There is not going to be any intro, like videos or anything like that. We are going to start straight away with driving. So, yeah, here we go. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, see you all then. In the meantime, we have another hour of this awesome live show for our Patreon supporters. So if you feel like joining us on Patreon, there is a link in the description of this video. In the meantime, stay safe. And yeah, all of you guys that are showing up in New Zealand next week, just have fun. It's going to be awesome. Christine is coming. Ash is coming. Like a lot of people, not Todd, somebody else, another guy was coming.
JT's already here.
JC's already here, yeah. No, JT I know is here.
Tamo's already here. Anthony's already here. Lawrence is going to be
that
here
is
soon.
showing up. Yeah, Lawrence is flying literally now. You guys have fun. Bye-bye.